Okay, now it's time for lesson number 3 for Math 13x videos. So insert either the less than or greater than symbol. So if you have a number line and 6 is over here, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 12 is over here, then this would be less than, because the 6 is to the left of the 12. Or another way to look at it is the arrow points to the smaller number. So this one is going to be less than. With a 3 and a 0, the 0 is the smaller number, so the arrow should point to the smaller number. Between a 9 and a 9.5, yeah, the 9 is the smaller number. And a 0.3 compared to a 0.8, well, the 0.3 is the smaller number, so this should be less than. With a 0.8 and a 0.2, the 0.2 is the smaller number, so point to that. And with this next one, we just need to look at the second decimal place because that's all this one has. So this is comparing a 0.3 to a 0.1, and the 0.1 is the smaller number, so it goes like this, greater than. Then for the second part of this worksheet, one is to write an algebraic inequality. So that means either use x if it's a number, and use p if it is a percent or a proportion. So the difference between these two words is percent would be something like 12%. And then if you change this to the decimal form, that would be 0.12. And then the 0.12 would be the proportion, the 12% would be the percent. So do two different ways to represent the same information. So this one is a number, so that means use x. And it's between a 4 and a 7. So these two arrows always have to go the same direction. They're always pointing to the left. Now there's one little detail on this one. It says inclusive, so that means do include the 4, or in other words, put an equal sign at the bottom of each inequality. So this is less than or equal, this is less than or equal. And then for the number line, you would just say, okay, over here is the 4, over here is the 7, and because this has an equals, I use a square bracket to indicate that on the graph. For part B, so the number of hours of work is at least, and at least means greater than or equal. So greater than or equal to 30, and then that's a number, not a percent, so it's going to be x greater than or equal to 30. And this one only has one number, so I'm going to have the square bracket over here with 30, and then it would just keep going because there's no other number on the right side. So this one says proportion, so that means I need to write this as a decimal and write this as a decimal. So you could either take the decimal, which is right here right now, move it 2 places, and it's going to become 0.53. Or you can just say 53 divided by 100, and the calculator says that is a 0.53. The little 0 at the end is not giving us any extra information, so you don't have to write it. Just 0.53 is fine. So I use P, and it's between a 0.53, and this one would be a 0.63. And then just do the little less thans, and that's the algebraic inequality. And so then, because this doesn't have an equals, that's when you use a round parenthesis instead of a square bracket. So this one's going to go from 0.53 to 0.63. And for the last one, it even tells us use the letter P. So this is at least, so that means that it's got less than or equal on this side. So 0.05. And then this one says less than, so that's going to be 0.25 on this side, and then the letter P in the middle. So this one has an equals on its inequality. So on the left side, this is going to have a square bracket, and that's for the 0.05. This one doesn't have an equals, so I use a round parenthesis and put the 0.25 on this side.